Hello and welcome to Let's React, the podcast that amplifies the voices of artists from underrepresented backgrounds in the UK and beyond. I'm Belinda Fenty.
And I'm Pauline Nikiria. As actors with unique journeys, we understand the struggles and the opportunities encountered by individuals like us.
Through this podcast, we'll dive into these experiences, connect with fellow artists, and engage in conversations that matter most to us.
From addressing underrepresentation
to celebrating diverse, rich stories.
From sharing audition insights to prioritizing self-care.
We'll cover it all. Join us on this journey as we react to the world around us and inspire change in the industry.
Welcome to another episode of Let's React podcast. Just before we start the episode, we just wanted to give you a trigger warning to let you know we'll be talking about sexual violence against women. Here's the episode. Hello everyone. Today we're honoured to have a wonderful Leesa Gazi as our wonderful guest.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Just a little bit about you, just to introduce you.
Impressive bio, I must say. Have you got enough time to give a bio, Pauline?
I do.
The list is endless.
And I need to, I need to,
Yes.
because it's important that everyone knows who this amazing person of a human being is. So Leesa is co-founder of Komola Collective, and she is a versatile scriptwriter, filmmaker and performer. She's known for her outstanding work in productions like 6 Seasons, Birangona, Women of War, which she turned into a documentary film, and has written novels. This I didn't know, Leesa. I only know one novel you've written. But I've got is Hellfire and Good Girls. But she's also had a very amazing impact on the arts and is widely recognized and has received accolades as far as recently, including the Gender Sensitivity Award at the Mami Mumbai Film Festival 2023 for her film Baril Nam Shahana, which is A House Named Shahana. And so, we look forward to exploring her journey and the insights into her world of creativity, filmmaking, the arts, writing. So welcome, Leesa. Leesa Gazi.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a bit about your journey into the world of theatre and the arts and filmmaking?
Wow, I might need the whole night. No, I grew up in Bangladesh, so I was affiliated with a theatre company there. There was no academic schooling for theatre back then. So my practice in theatre and on stage used to be entirely, practical and kind of learning by doing it. That was how it used to be back in the days. And I did a few productions there. I used to work in an advertising agency there as a copywriter. And then I emigrated to the UK. And at that time, I thought that my, creative journey, my profession as a theatre worker, my passion as a theatre worker will not continue here because of the, language barrier. But in 2008, I got an opportunity from Tara Arts. It used to be Tara.
Big up, shout out, pa pa pow.
Absolutely. We all worked there somehow, didn't we? So
Amazing.
they have supported creatives like us hugely. And so I got an opportunity there to write a bilingual play in English and Bangla and translated a play. It's called Sonata by Mohesh Elkonchwar. I adopted that play and translated the play in Bangla and English. And then I also performed in it at Tara Arts. That's how my theatre journey started in the UK back in 2008. And then when we formed our theatre company, Komola Collective, we 4 women from diverse backgrounds, and also they work in different department of theatre, music, directorial, and playwright and performer. So we came together, 4 of us, and we formed this theatre and arts company called Komola Collective. We wanted to tell stories from a woman's perspective. That was our goal, and we are dedicated to do so, and we are still doing so. And when we formed that theatre company, we were thinking of what could be our first production. We wanted to tell stories, of course, from women's perspective, but also from, marginalized women and diverse women and women from BME background. And then we thought about working on Birangana, sexual violence survivors of the liberation war of Bangladesh. My father was a freedom fighter during the liberation war, and I came to know about these women from him when I was 17 years old. He for the first time, and he told me that he had witnessed hundreds of raped women and girls standing back to back on a convoy of trucks like sacrificial animals. And
Oh
that
my
image
goodness.
stayed with me. So when we formed our theatre company, that is story I wanted to tell. And then we went to Bangladesh, 4 of us, Phyllis Osjan as a director, me, the playwright and performer, and Kathleen Abbott, production designer, and Sohini Alam, musical director. So we went there in Bangladesh, worked with 21 survivors,
Wow.
created the R&D piece in Bangladesh, and then we came back here, did another R&D piece in the UK, and then toured nationally. We toured the play nationally in 2014, and then I translated the play again in Bangla and took the play to Bangladesh and toured there nationally as well. And also we took the play to the women. It's a small town near capital city Dhaka, and we went there and performed for them. So after the performance, Raju Bala, one of the survivors, told me that go and tell the world. I came back during the research period also, and one of the Birangana women I interviewed died. And that actually pushed me to do this play, because I realized that when a Birangana woman dies, her story dies with her. So that desperation to kind of hold on to one of their stories and to tell the world what actually happened to them compelled me to create this piece with my fellow Komola Collective colleagues. When I was touring the play in the UK, a producer whom I knew before, but he came to watch the play. His name is Abbas Mukaste. His production company is called Open Visor, film production company. And he asked me that what is my vision after that. So I told him that my ultimate vision is to safeguard one of the stories, because there were very lack of documentation of this of what happened to these women. So there was not much documentation or evidence or anything that was left, because it was destroyed, intentionally and deliberately. So then he told me that he would invest in the film, documentary film, only if I direct the piece. And I told him that I'm not a filmmaker. I don't know how to make films. So it is absolutely absurd that I'll be directing the piece. But what I can do is I can research. I know the women very well. By then, my research took me to 83 Birangana women survivors. So I know them personally. But he was adamant. He said, no, I will invest only if you direct it, because you have that
Wow.
relationship. And that's how I became a
Wow,
filmmaker.
I
So
love it.
if there's any problem with it, it's his fault. That's how my journey as a filmmaker started.
The film Belinda, it's like quite a powerful story, like seeing these women and telling their stories, and the isolation that they felt, the segregation, the exclusion, including their children as well. Like, it's maddening to think that people are blaming you for something that wasn't even your fault, marginalizing these women just because of that.
Yeah. I mean, the whole story is remarkable, and it was very brave of the women to speak to you as well. But I think that also must speak of something about your character that made them feel comfortable enough to share their stories with you, for sure. And it's interesting because you said your father was a freedom fighter, and it appears to me that you are too, via the arts, you know?
I don't know about that, but definitely my father instilled that pain in me, that anger, that search for these women,
That
because
spirit.
it's not
Yeah.
one or two women. It's about 200 to 400,000 women and girls were systematically tortured and raped and enslaved as sexual slave. So I wanted to meet them. I wanted to see them on their own terms, beyond the label and statistics. Because when I was growing up, I didn't see them anywhere around me. So if huge number, where are they? But they were ostracized. They were shunned by a society, by the community they belong to, where rape victims are blamed. Sometimes even perpetrators are not in the equation, not even in the discussion. So this is how it used to be. So that desperation forced me to look for them beyond my capacity. And when I met them for the first time in 2010, I don't know why, I just took a small camera crew with me, of course, with their permission, and interviewed a few of them. That journey is still with me. I'm still working in this field. This film has won 15 international awards worldwide, and it is now being used as a very formidable, tool to create and build awareness, to stop, rape as a weapon of war in armed conflicts. So this is what the film is doing. This is the purpose of the film, and I'm so humbled that it is doing so.
It's amazing, like the fact that you're using art to tell these women's stories, because a lot of people will watch something that is in that perspective of where you're telling stories, no matter what kind of stories that they are, you're using that skill and you're pushing those boundaries and telling these stories. So I think it's a good thing you were pushed into making this film, because the way you even tell the stories is amazing. And like Belinda said, there's something about you as a character, as a person, for someone to be able to open up and tell their stories.
It's very kind of you.
You should be proud. It's something that I think not many people have. Honestly, not many people can do that.
What was your approach when you were approaching the women for the first time? And what advice would you give people who wanted to do something similar?
My approach, first and foremost, is I just went there to listen to them. I never thought that it could be so huge for them, because they are used to being judged all the time, shunned, shamed, and someone is there holding their hands and to listen to them and to just allow them to say whatever they feel. I think that maybe they trusted me because of that. And because one thing, when I was initially making connection with them, one thing was very apparent, that they want to be acknowledged what had happened to them, and they want to be, recognized and respected. So that is the minimum we could give them. And so when they were sharing their stories, I was devastated, but they were so loving. They were hugging me. They fetched water for me. It's just ridiculous. Motherly love and motherly love that they gave me, it's still a blessing. Every time I go to Bangladesh, I make sure I at least meet a few of them. I've been doing since 2010. And I cannot even imagine going to Bangladesh and not seeing them. They could sense, right, that where you are coming from, if you are coming from a place of respect, a place of love and compassion, they know. So maybe because of that, they trusted me, and I'm honored and humbled that they felt that I'm worthy of that trust.
In terms of like telling these stories of women and from the female perspective, I know that your film at the moment that is circulating the festivals is also quite a very close story to your heart. So A House Named Shahana, and you won a gender sensitivity award at the Mumbai Film Festival. Can you tell us about Shahana, the story behind it, and what it means to you?
Barinam Shahana, I wrote a short story back in 2011 by the same title. And in 2020, I was just thinking of, doing something about it, because after Rising Silence, the documentary film I made following the 9 survivors' life in the aftermath of the Liberation War, I wanted to make another film. It's really something is itching inside me to make another film. And I chose this because it is about a divorcee woman in the 90s Bangladesh, and how she confronts social stigma, what is decided for her, and how she kind of reclaims her life, live it on her own terms. And that is the story, a story about a woman finding her voice. And I was also a divorcee in the 90s Bangladesh, and I experienced so much, prejudice and social stigma and shame, and kind of losing face, losing your, family honor, that kind of thing, and the social pressure. And I witnessed that how divorcee women back in that time, it is much better now, but back in the time, how they are outcast in their own society and own homes. I also met so many South Asian women who face infamy and injustices, but still build their own paths to live as they please. And I have always wanted to tell their passionate, complex, burning stories. So, our protagonist of our film, Deepa, is one such woman who does not accept what has been decided for her by others and fights back. So that is the passion has come from my own experience.
It's a
I can't
beautiful
wait
film,
to see
and
these films. They sound
Yeah,
amazing.
it's going to be screened very soon, so I will definitely let you know.
Amazing. Thank you.
Now, thinking about the projects that are coming up as well, are there any projects you can divulge and tell us about that you're thinking of? Because I know in your brain you're always going tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
I know, it's bad. It's bad. It's not very good. I have written a story for my next film. I have co-written it with the same writer that I co-wrote the screenplay for, Barinam Shahana. It's inspired by Rabindranath Tagore's short story by the same name. It's called Shasti, which means punishment. But we set the story in modern day Bangladesh, Dhaka, and what we want to present is how perception and reality, sometimes gets mixed up, and how it used to be before that, you are innocent until you're proven guilty, and now you are guilty until you're proven innocent, because of the social media and the media trial that goes on, and the
Cancel
and the
culture and
poll,
all that
and the,
stuff.
it's just, I have seen what it does to people. I have experienced that in 2021. It was absolutely a Kafkaesque
Gosh.
experience what I had gone through, because of entirely wrong information, and which almost destroyed my entire career, and the judgment from people without even knowing me and my work. So that experience I wanted to kind of confront, and I wanted to present to the audience that what it does. And sometimes we just write something without even thinking, but what the impact we don't know. So that is the story, and the film will be next. Hopefully I'll get to make it.
Oh, yes, you will. Not even hopefully.
Yeah,
Yes, you will.
I
You
believe it.
will.
Everything you've said so far makes me have no doubt.
Thank you.
You're a strong woman. You honestly are. You're much stronger than you think. I think you're one of the most amazing women that I know. And
Oh,
it is an inspiration working with you, knowing you, and seeing the work that you do. Is just so thrilling to see how, using the arts to tell stories, to make films, to build on that. It's just amazing. And you are an inspiration to a lot of artists, a lot of women out there who have stories to
Yeah.
tell, and are maybe even too scared to
Absolutely. It's
tell,
very
right?
brave to tell these stories, especially, like you're saying, when
thank you.
society creates stigma around so many things, like whether that's being a divorcee or being a victim of sexual violence. But instead of staying silent and keeping the shame surviving, speaking out and showing the world and telling people. Yeah, and that's really courageous.
It's so important that we need to do it. We need to do that. And sometimes we say, as Pauline was telling me, that, we expect women to be strong. And I don't know why I want to say something about that
Okay.
because I have been telling that, we are strong. How about those women who are not strong? I mean, we don't have to be strong all the time. And I am actually exhausted being strong. I
Yes.
do not want to be strong. I want to be understood, and I think that it is important that we say that, women can be all sorts. Women can be strong, women can be vulnerable, women can be, complex, and just like anyone else, and is worthy of celebration. So I think that is also very important. I do not want to be so strong all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
I'm quite exhausted being
Absolutely.
strong all the time. Yeah.
I hear
Yeah.
you.
You
Yeah,
want to be
so hear you.
understood.
It's something that I've thought a lot because,
Yeah.
there's the trope of the strong black woman as well. And it's like
Yeah.
exactly like what you just said. Well, why do we need to be strong? You say we're strong. And so suddenly there's this pressure to maintain this strong facade. But actually, when we have pain, we want to cry, we want to weep, we want to be held up. We don't want to be holding everyone else up all the
Yeah.
time. It's complex, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Have you ever had anyone try to stop you or say you shouldn't be doing what you're doing?
Stop me in so many ways, stopping someone to work, like the way I faced this media trial back in 2021. I mean, that is a way to stop you. When people see that someone is doing something not their liking, they go all their way to stop that person. And I have faced in my career and in the past days. But one thing I have in me, I don't know whether it's good or bad, that you can't stop me. If you put barrier in my path, it makes me more adamant and it makes me more determined to do what I was planning to do. So if someone wants to stop me, it's not a very good idea for them to try that because that would actually make me more motivated.
Amazing.
You're like a fuel just going, and you're like, okay, let's go. We always like to finish off asking you what book or film or story or anything that our listeners would find inspiring. What would you
Oh,
recommend?
last month I watched a movie. It's called Past Lives. It's a South Korean movie.
I saw it
Have you
yesterday.
watched it?
I saw it yesterday.
What
Yeah,
do you think
yes.
about it? It's just maybe because I emigrated, here, I could relate to that story so much, and the pain and the journey and that pull for your homeland in so many ways. It could be a form of a friend or a song or something. So that film resonated with me hugely. So yeah,
Oh, is that the
yeah.
one with the East Asian woman?
Yeah, it's a South Korean
Yeah.
film, so yes,
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 yeah,
yes.
yeah. Because I remember they were talking about how the writer was telling the story and then the filming of those scenes and the
Yeah,
editing and how it went
it's
about.
about two childhood friends got separated because one of the friends emigrated to the US and they met after many, many years. Yeah, it's just beautiful. So glad that you watched it, Belinda.
Yes, I loved it too. Do you know, I thought it was fantastic storytelling as well
Yeah,
because a Hollywood version would have made it more dramatic in a way,
yeah.
whereas this was very nuanced and
Very
complex.
subtle, yeah, yeah,
You really felt that sort of longing and that
yeah,
other potential possibility of what
yeah.
might have been.
Might
And at
have
the
been,
same
yeah.
time, it didn't do the cliched thing of saying, well, the life that you have now is awful and that's your true
Yes.
life. In a way, it kind of said we can have more than one love. Like her partner was wonderful, wasn't he? It was a
Wonderful,
different
yeah.
relationship, but he was so wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh,
Very
it's
yeah.
understanding.
really vulnerable and subtle, and you could see that insecurities, and it really spoke to me, the film. Yeah.
You know, I could talk to you all day. But thank you so much for taking the time to do
Thank you
this
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
thank
us and with
you.
us.
I really
I'm
enjoyed talking to you
moved.
guys.
See, I told you it's gonna be chill. I told you.
It was too short.
Yeah, it was too
But so
short.
yeah, we'll have to get you back.
Ladies, anytime.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Honestly, Pauline, that was a profound experience for me.
Yeah,
Her
yeah,
words are still in my chest here. Like, genuinely, I
yeah.
can feel the emotion from what she told us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those stories are
Mm-hmm.
so painful. And it's incredible that she has such motivation to tell them.
Yeah, just being able to do that, like as a person as well, like, that's why we talk about the arts. It's a way of telling stories and being able to do that in the way that she's like a superhero in a cape, just
Yeah.
telling stories, especially from women's perspective or female perspective. But no matter what gender you are, understanding, like you said, she just wants to be understood.
Yes.
Um,
Seen, heard.
yeah, which is beautiful. Yeah,
So beautiful.
yeah.
I'm
Like,
inspired.
yeah, no, she is such an inspirational woman. Like, just listening to her sometimes, and she's so gentle, like as a character, like as a person. She can seem quiet, but
Yeah.
when her time comes and she's like ready to
Yes.
go, she's like, boom, what?
Yes.
She stands up for herself and she just, stands her ground. Like she said, she stands her ground.
Yes. She
She's
says she can't be
unmovable.
stopped. I love that. I love that so much.
She's an
And yet she's so
unmovable.
humble as well. That
Mm-hmm.
came across.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so thank you so much, Leesa
Yeah,
Gazi,
thank you.
honestly.
Beautiful soul.
And we'll pop her social links as well, so you can follow her journey. You can follow Komola Collective. Just, yeah, be inspired. But yeah, thank you for listening, as always. And we'll be speaking again to you next week.
Absolutely.